Hey folks, we have got Bob Kula with us again on here on FluffTube. We have to watch our words. We're starting this recording over again, so we messed up on that. So, Bob, I usually read your bio, but I'm not going to go into it this time. People, you can learn how to trade with the Trade Genius by going to www.tradegeniusacademy.com. What's the promo code, Bob?
It's fall.
It's fall, okay, and fitting. It's fitting because what do we see happening in fall? I'm hearing a red October.
Yeah. So look, China is melting down. The United Kingdom's melting down. Germany's melting down. All three different energy issues, right? China doesn't have enough coal. England doesn't have enough gasoline. Germany doesn't have enough natural gas. And the United States is running out of common sense. You know, you have, we'll skip the details. The lady from New York who's running that state is going absolutely
Firing
insane.
everybody, firing
everybody, wants to lock people up now. Her inner Australia is coming out.
So what do you mean she wants to lock people up?
Well, you know, we can't get in the details because we have to use our right words.
That don't do this.
Yeah. So anyway, it's just insane. I think it's going to do is going to max exodus out of New York. But, you know, at the same time, you know, the Congress, they're fighting with each other now. So, you know, it's like the 40 thieves, right? You know, the Arabian Nights, they starting to turn on each other. You do see, people may not know this, but I was a former Marine Corps officer. And what I'm seeing from these generals today are absolutely insane. If I was America's enemies, I'd be licking my chops, saying these guys are paper tiger.
We're weak right now. We're so weak.
We're so weak.
You know, we could be attacked. I think we could be attacked at any time. I mean,
the leaders are weak, and you know, and listen to this: they put that guy in jail, Lieutenant Colonel Scheller, and General Milley's doing the same thing that Scheller did, and he's being praised for it. So, you know, the troops understand that. They see that. So you're going to see mass exodus out of the Marine Corps, out of the military, because of look, I can't trust these guys. If I can't trust my leaders, I'm not staying in. Because remember Vietnam, your leaders got you killed. And we're repeating the 70s, Dave. This is the thing. If anybody wants to take out anything out of this conversation today, we are repeating the 1970s almost to a T. It's almost like it's surreal. Inflation, feckless president, a military that's rotting from the top, you know, shortages, people at each other's throats, you know, and then you throw in the health scare that that they perpetrated on people, and you have a perfect mix for what we call malaise. So, you know, now people have to, the only difference is technology is so much more intense today than it was in the 70s. So you have this battle now of trying to control people's thoughts, criminalizing dissent, you know, but, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I think, you know, we'll see a reactionary backlash from this. You know, some good news out of some of this stuff politically is that the FBI has been caught in the lie on January 6th. So now they can't claim insurrection because they're saying they had no foreknowledge because there was no conspiracy. Okay, then why are all these people in jail yet, right?
They're still holding them. I mean, they're still going to hold them. They're still going to be holding these people.
Yeah, I think they make a case now for unlawful detention, because if they're just trespassers, you know, spur of the moment kind of stuff, they'll get them released. The point is now, truth gets out. It leaks out somehow, some way. And look at Virginia. Virginia was decidedly a blue state. They're running neck and neck now for the governor election there that's coming up. And so I think the Democrats are starting to fear a backlash. And I think you're going to see, if you notice, the healthcare companies are saying, you know, the new normal is going to go back to the old way here in a year. They all know they got to end whatever garbage they've been doing before the midterms, or there's going to be a massive revolt in the country. I think people are really surly. You and I aren't the only angry guys out there.
I'm hearing there's a huge boomerang effect that's going to happen this fall.
Absolutely, this fall coming is going to be well. I think the other thing about the 70s is there was a lot of strife. excuse me. So I think we're going to see all that, Dave. As it pertains to the stock market, the reason why you have me on is that volatility is increasing incredibly. And so, what we see here is energy and food. So, we've been playing natural gas, we've been playing uranium, we've been playing oil. Okay, those trades have been pushed pretty hard up. We've been playing the reversals on those now, but we're going to see oil over 100. Natural gas in Europe is at $25 an MCF, US at $6. And so you're starting to see some really weird situations there. Coal is at a shortage, believe it or not. Uranium's at a shortage. So we take those trades, and you have to live with the chaos, but that's where people are hiding out in energy. They're going to be bailing out of tech. They're going to be bailing out of consumer goods. They're going to all run to energy because we're seeing shortages all across the world.
It's a scary time, man. I mean, I'm excited on one hand. On the other hand, I'm like, oh, I'm nervous because what about meat? I mean, I'm hearing they're going to be pulling the meat off the shelves. I mean, the inflation of meat is just going to go through the roof, and I mean, people are telling me to stock up on meat and food now.
Yeah, there's an old saying, Dave: "He who panics first panics best." So if people aren't
Thank God I'm a hypochondriac. Paranoid schizo. No, I'm not. Just kidding.
No, but but anyway, you need to be prepared. So, look, I keep my freezer full. I keep our cabinets full. I don't want to have to rush with everybody else to get stuff because what's happening.
How are you doing on toilet paper?
What's that?
How are you doing on toilet paper? That's the question.
Yeah, I want people to TP my house. I'm trying to pick a fight with all my neighbors so I get theirs. No, yeah. Yeah, but look, you got to be prepared now, and look, the shortages are going to last for a year. What's happening in the meat market is really fascinating because we've had this drought. So a lot of animals are going to slaughter right now, which means it's kind of like prices have kind of dipped in some things. It's kind of a false dip because once this glut of meat gets through the system, prices are gonna probably double again in meat. And so, and look, China's buying up everything they possibly can. China has a huge deficit on food and food security. Look, the people in China fear hungry people. Hungry peasants means regime change. And so they're taking their cash surpluses, they're buying everything they can out of the United States. Brazil is having a frost, believe it or not. The equatorial country of Brazil is having frost in their highlands, which where they grow a lot of their corn and their soybeans. So they're kind of off the market. And so got to be really careful. Make sure you guys have some food put away because look how fast England went. England went from one Friday, everything was good on gasoline. A week later, you can't get it.
And we're looking at that coming here.
Too.
We're looking at that. I'm hearing October could be a brutal month.
Yeah, look, they're not. It's weird out here in Long Beach and Long Beach and the LA port. They're not even running at 100% capacity. And the Biden administration has like no interest in getting that cleaned up. We have 60 boats sitting off the coast. If they're short longshoremen, you can get them from anywhere. You just declare emergency and all hands on deck. But they're letting the unions control the pace of onboarding. And so, they can clean that thing up in 6 weeks. They're not even running 24/7, Dave. So, they're creating these shortages. And China, I'm not sure, if China is purposely doing this, probably, is that they create these problems inside of China where they're shutting factories down, they're shutting ports down, and they're starting to starve us of parts. They say $27 billion in losses for the auto industry because of the China chip shortage.
What is going on with that chip shortage? So like I've noticed here at the Mercedes-Benz dealership, they have like limited cars. Like auto dealerships are just, they don't have any new cars. What's going on with that right now?
Yeah, the problem is they centralized everything. So you have one or two big factories that produce all these chips. In Texas, you had that one factory that burned down, remember, like a couple of years ago in the freeze, that produces all our paint. So you have these big centralized entities that want.
I think that's all engineered.
Yeah.
I think they're taking us into the electric car, Green New Deal type shit. That's where they're heading us. That's where they're taking us.
The problem is all these electric cars need a lot of chips. and they're not getting them. So, it's a problem. I think the Chinese are just trying to disrupt us. They figure that they can live with inconvenience far longer than we can live with inconvenience. So I think they're testing to see how much chaos they can produce. And and with Biden, he's just not even paying attention.
No, it's not. It's not that. He's being told exactly what to do. He's a Trojan horse for these people. That's my firm and stern belief on that. This guy is not incompetent. That guy knows exactly what he's doing. He's flushing us down the toilet. And I think that we're at war right now, Bob. This is a war. It's an unconventional war. And I talked about it today. And let me see if I still have it here. And I think you'd agree with this. It's psychological warfare, public opinion warfare, and legal warfare. They're going all three of them. That's how they're taking down the United States without firing a bullet. And I think that's just where we're at right now. And I think October, I keep hearing from everybody that it's going to be red October, and I'm the economy, and they keep stressing the economy to me, and hearing it from you. How bad? My question to you is, how bad do you anticipate this? How bad do you see October being for the people, for America, the globe? How bad is October going to be?
If the Chinese devalue their currency, the stock market goes down 20% in a month, and that'll put us in a recession.
So it's bad. It's really, really bad. And then what? November even worse. December even worse than that.
Yeah, look, once chaos starts, you can't control the fire. So once they start the flame, it's really hard to predict. Look, if they lose control of food and energy, they'll have rioting in the streets. And if the stock market crashes, then they're going to have everybody who's sitting fat, dumb, and happy paying attention. And then I think things get real. And I just can't predict where it'll go, Dave. I wish I had that crystal ball. All we do is we just see where the money's flowing, and we just try to stay a step ahead of it.
So in other words, everyone needs to buckle up. This is about to get really, really bumpy.
Yeah, I've been telling people for a long time, things have been too easy for too long. Okay. And people like you and I that kind of pay attention to this stuff, we've been bothered for a while, but most people are clueless, and they're just starting to pay attention now. People all of a sudden they're losing their job. Well, why would I lose my job? I can't go to a sporting event. Well, why can't I do that? You can't leave your house. Why can't I do that? And the next thing you know, well, we're going to limit how much food you can buy. Why is that? And all of a sudden, all these people are now going to wake up to the fact that they've been sleepwalking through basically a coup in the country. And, it's basically a neutron bomb. The same people are going to be in charge, but the rules have changed. And I think that's when enough people pay attention, when I think you're going to start seeing a pushback, and then things will get ugly before they get better. But I don't think
crime naturally naturally in these conditions, crime spike, and they're defunding
murders
the police.
Are already up 30%.
What's that?
Murders are already up 30%.
And then we're letting everyone in from the southern border. What do you think's going to happen, folks? What do you think's going to happen? So people need to buy guns as well, correct?
Yeah, there's a stock out there called POWW. Okay, ammunition guy. So that's one to pay attention to. And
POW
guns aren't a problem. It's going to be ammunition that's going to be the issue. So make sure you have ammunition, because they're trying to block the people from getting the manufacturers getting access to some of the components for ammunition. So yeah, look, they're putting a full court press on. I think this is what Dave, I think this is what they think this is their last hurrah. They got Biden in there. They got the Attorney General back in their play, right? They got Congress that's indifferent to it. They have the media under their control. This is when they have to try to roll the tanks through to see if they can get it before they lose control again. And I think they're gonna try to do it. I mean, look what they're doing. They're using absolutely the same tactics the Russians used, right? If you disagree with them, you go to get a psychological evaluation, right? You disagree with them, you get fired. You disagree with them, you get censored. You disagree with them,
People learn nothing from history. We're repeating it once again. We're doing this all over again.
That's because people get comfortable, and then they have to be woken up. So the only good news is that we're a bunch of type T personalities here in the United States. and they may not like the pushback. That's the only thing. That's the only thing I'm going to say.
Yeah. So what do you suggest people do right now? You're saying that to just prep to, what about gold and silver? What?
Yeah, gold and silver, they've been suppressing. So what's working is energy. So, excuse me. I'm fine. I'm not dying. I'm okay. Is that I've been talking all day. So, our play is that uranium trade has been working really well. And so we're staying with that. Oil's going over $100 a barrel. Sorry to hear it, folks, but so we're buying oil on dips. We've had great trades buying the oil the drillers, because they're at a shortage around the world. We just bought a coal company. That's all going to work. Other than that, stay away from the markets. If you don't care about what I'm saying in terms of stocks or my business, you guys, I hate the word prepping because it sounds so like anti, but just make sure you have enough food for a couple weeks. Make sure you have enough
Probably
water.
more than a couple weeks, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, well, I'm saying, typically, if you have to have at least 2 or 3 weeks worth of stuff around the house, okay? And if you have kids, you better have something for them to do for a couple weeks in case you get stuck, and make sure you never get your car less than half a tank full, and I mean, just some really simple things you can do. If you don't have solar in your house, you have a house and you can afford it, get solar on your home, especially if you live in the Southwest, it makes financial sense to do so. Make sure you have a bug out plan. If you live anywhere in the city, make sure you have a place you can go at least 150 miles away from the crazies, because that's how far a tank goes for them to get back home.
You know what's crazy about this interview is that you're in deep shit when the trade genius is telling you to prep and give a bug out plan. Something's wrong, folks. Just saying.
Yeah, well, I always had one. So, we can be out of our house if we had. I live in an area that's pretty safe, but we have a bug out plan. We can be out of our house in 40 minutes. So everybody needs to do it. And we did that because we live next to a nuke plant, but they shut that plant down.
And once again, Bob, where can people see you? It's at www.tradegenius.com, and the promo code once again is fall.
Yeah, so you go to tradelikeagenius.com or tradegeniusacademy.com, promo code fall. Check us out. We'll help you make money during this time. We're doing all right. And in fact, the crazier it is, the better we do, because it just gives us more and more opportunities for us to trade ahead of the crowd. And trust me, it's going to get crazy here for the next couple months. Okay, man. Bob, thank you for joining me, man. I always appreciate it, man. You're always just a wealth of knowledge. So thank you. Oh, thanks for having me, Dave. And I'm sure we'll be able to talk next month. Hopefully it's not going to be that red. All right, man. I'll see you next month. And thank you very much, Bob. You're welcome. All right.